That takes us to our next session, where the topic is need for sustainability in content creation. And we will have Anupama Mandloi, CEO and co-founder India GreenSet, in conversation with Anil NM Wanvari, founder, chairman, and editor-in-chief, Indian Television.com Group.
So why are we talking about sustainability that, people leave the room? Why is it so important in content creation, sustainability?
So, we in India are the biggest content creators, in terms of volume. Indian cinema, it's like 2,000 films a year. Look at the number of soaps, look at the number of channels, look at the volume of content we create. And as an industry, it just boggles my mind that one is to establish sustainable practices. The second is really we have the maximum potential for influence with the content that we create. And climate change is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. And if we don't wisen up to it, it's going to teach us a couple of things. And so, like if I were to talk about the Mumbai floods, just for a minute, maybe they were not due to climate change. Maybe the floods happened for multiple reasons, but it took the industry by surprise. We lost business. We were running reruns for almost a week. It affected business, right? So if we want to make sure that we are ready for any risks that come up in the future, we need to be sustainably relevant. And the other thing is we talk about content and traveling internationally. If our content wants to be tomorrow, if they introduce sustainable certification and that becomes mandatory, we will not be ready for it. So I think these are just simple things. The kind of volume of content that we create, just in terms of the plastic bottles that we use, in terms of the energy, fossil fuel energy that we utilize, in terms of the lights that we use, in terms of the waste segregation, the kind of waste that goes to landfill. It's huge, it's massive. So that's the reason why actually we are talking.
So what's happening internationally on sustainable content creation?
So India GreenSet has basically...
No, not your company.
No, I know. Has collaborated with an international company called GreenSpark Group. And the reason why we did this was because we wanted somebody as knowledge partner, since we are not experts in sustainability. We are experts in content production and creation, right? So there, actually, they have created a industry alliance where all the big companies have come together and they have created a standard code for, practicing sustainable practices. So that's the reason why, borrowing from what we see internationally, we said that we need to create a sustainable industry alliance here as well, where, see, at the end of the day, if all the big companies were to come together, imagine a future where we have green studios, where we run on green energy, where we have no plastic, where there is diversity, inclusivity, parity, where the vanity vans are not left running for hours on end, even if there's nobody sitting in them. These are just simple things that, as an industry, if we come together and we do, and we create, it's like a culture shift, right? We move towards creating, imagine offices that are run on green energy, that conduct water harvesting, rainwater harvesting, that have solar panels. It's a different environment that we're going to function out of. But the pride, I think, that most people would feel once they realize what they are doing in terms of contributing to cutting down the carbon footprint is going to be massive. And I don't think we realize it till we start doing it. And what they do internationally is there are also multiple workshops, because I think the first step is really to sensitize people to what is sustainability. Because the minute you mention that word, everybody says, okay, what's that? The eyes glaze over. It's the last item on the agenda. By the time you reach that agenda, everybody is like in a rush to get on to the next meeting. So that's the reality here in India right now. And actually, even internationally, But because it's being mandated, there is a lot more pressure to sort of integrate that into systems.
By mandate, you mean?
It's a government mandate, it's an industry mandate. So even here, we have Netflix, Amazon, Sony. In fact, Sony is doing a lot in terms of sustainability. A lot of the shows are, and they're not doing it just in terms of the sustainable practices, they're also integrating climate messaging in their content. So it's a huge thing, but they're doing it also because internationally their partners are known for sustainable practices. So the thing is, how much do you want to do? Do you only want to stick to waste segregation? Even that is enough, you know. Do you want to only sort of stick to removing single-use plastic from the set? That is enough. But I think if we introduce that sensibility, things will shift. Because everything that creates inconvenience right now is something that will become the most important thing 10 years down. Why even 10 years? 2 years down the line. And we've all known that in our industry, when something shifts, it shifts within, you know, years. I mean, you just look back and you see the landscape has moved. Look at the way we moved from analog to digital. And see, that's the one example that always comes to mind, is that the industry came together, it united, and that shift happened. Otherwise, as an industry, we would have been defunct today. So just in the interests of keeping abreast with the times, being conscious of what's happening around us, we need to integrate sustainable practices in our content.
So what is your organization doing in this area to bring about that shift?
So we are actually in the process of forming this alliance where all the industry bodies come together. And we are currently sort of looking for founder members. So we've already got a few on board. The whole idea is to provide training and workshop to everybody in the industry. The intent is also to celebrate achievements because there are some production houses like Fremantle who are doing a lot in this space. There are networks like Sony who are doing a lot in this space. And the idea is to celebrate people. There's Pragya Kapoor, who is you know, a film producer. Her film, Chandigarh Kare Ashiki, was like a zero-waste film. So there are people in this business who are conscious, who are doing a lot to create that change. And I think it's important that we celebrate that. Also, I think in terms of long-term, right now people are using the Albert tool, but going forward, it would be creating our own green certification for shows. So it's all of those things.
So you see all this coming into being?
It is
force.
definitely going to come into being. If we don't do it, climate change is going to force us into that area. And the government is already doing quite a bit, you know. So today we do have some studios that supply green energy. You know, Adani is already doing something in that space. So it's going to happen, you know. And studios can no longer we cannot work with fossil fuels. So battery-operated generators are available now. Everything is expensive right now because the demand is not there. But the minute the demand increases, the supply will increase, the costs will come down. I mean, this is something that everybody in the business knows, right? So it's just a question of how we create that alternative set of vendors. It's an opportunity here for everybody sitting in this room. It's a business opportunity. It is, in the next 2 years, going to be something that we will all be moving towards. So
what hurdles are we facing in this area?
it's basically unity. It's a lack of, it's something that's inconvenient right now. We are grappling with day-to-day deadlines and cost is another factor. So till the industry comes together and says that, no, this is the shift that we need to make, similar to the shift that we made from analog to digital, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. And tomorrow, I think if the government mandates it, if it becomes a triple bottom line that has to be sort of followed, which means that it is not just financial, but it's social and it's environmental bottom lines that have to be audited, then every company has to do it, has to follow it. So,
No, are you having dialogue with the governments? Or
not yet, because we are actually taking baby steps right now to just get the alliance moving forward.
So, first stage is getting the alliance moving and then getting industry bodies to fund it.
Yes.
Industry.
And then getting the government to also step in.
Now, in terms of let's say it takes time to put everything together.
Yes,
What can we as individuals put in place to ensure that we get sustainable practices into our organizations without having to be mandated?
Basic stuff, get rid of these bottles. That's the first. 2 is don't leave the electricity on when you're not in the room. 3 is try and reuse and reduce, reuse your materials. Choose your materials wisely. Materials that don't make their way to landfill. Any sets that are created, costumes that are created, is there a way to reuse them? Is there a way to reduce the usage and to use second-hand material? In terms of waste, let's be conscious about how we segregate waste, and composting is another way of using our wet waste. There are actually multiple things that one can do, and these are things that we do in our homes. We can do it on our sets. Nobody has to tell us that, okay, fine. So if I don't have the money, can I do this? Yes. You can move from paper to digital.
But shouldn't this come from the broadcasters, because the budgets
That's the whole problem, you see, because we're waiting for someone to tell us what to do. But we can start small, right? The revolutions don't begin only from the top down, right? They begin from bottom up. So create that revolution. I mean, we all have that opportunity to do it.
I don't have any more questions. Any questions from the audience? No? I think she's answered them all, but I'll ask another question now.
Okay.
You're sure it's not a buzzword? Just a buzzword now?
It is a buzzword. It is. And that's the sad part of it, that very often it gets used as a buzzword. Every day we use that term greenwashing, so just so that we look good, our shareholders are happy with what we're doing, stakeholders are happy. But if it's done consciously, I think, it'll be evident.
I think our next generation should
No,
have a
we can't
sustainable...
leave it to the next generation.
No. I'm
It's
saying
unfair.
we need to do it now for the next generation to have a better earth.
Yes.
Maybe in our generation it may not happen that we have a better earth.
Yeah. The thing is, internationally people are doing a lot, and those shifts are also visible. So this whole doomsday kind of messaging is also not correct, because while we are heading in that direction, parallelly there are a lot of people who are working in this space. So it's just about how many more people can join this and make it tip over faster.
So are you also looking for individual members, or are you looking for corporate members?
We are looking for everyone. So anybody who feels passionately in this space, we are happy to take them on board.
Any passionate people about sustainability? Okay, you have a question. Sashank, right? Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm a writer in the industry. So I'll take a step and I'll make sure that in my writer's room, there are no plastic bottles used, and we move to digital scripts as soon as possible on all my sets.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Can you do one more thing?
Yeah.
Can you integrate? So the thing is, we all believe that when we are changing something in content, it has to be preachy, it has to be focused and forced, right? But just one character who believes in sustainability, or believes in climate change, or maybe even a character who doesn't believe in climate change. Let's create those small debates. Some actions that characters take, that they refuse to carry plastic bottles and they just carry a steel bottle instead. Just small things. But we can do this. The kind of reach we enjoy, it's sad that we don't utilize that influence and power that we have as creators over,
I don't know how much I can contribute to, through shows, but I have control of my writer's room.
Absolutely.
And all. So I'll make sure that in my writer's room there
Super.
is...
Great. Thank you.
You were raising your hand. What kind of a question do you have? Just pass on the mic to him, please.
Hi, my name is Raj Singh Verma. I'm currently writing a script primarily about 2 characters. One is who is born with this inherent wisdom wherein everything we do is conscious. If you do consciously, like you said, you need to sensitize people. So if you do consciously, you'll not create any waste. Right from the morning when you wake up till the time you sleep, I think that is the issue. Everything, like even fossil fuel is primarily we can use public transport.
Correct, absolutely.
It's been happening in Denmark. They have completely stopped renewing licenses to extract oil and natural gas. It's like raping Mother Earth right now. Countries have been doing it in different ways, using renewable energy. So this character primarily is somebody who is born with inherent wisdom. What I'm trying to say is, it won't happen unless we collectively raise our voice and keep our voice at the top till the time government puts it as a priority in their political manifesto.
Absolutely.
And we all collectively need to keep it at that. So right now is election time, we need to vote. Can we collectively ask our candidate who is coming to, like some candidate is coming to my area tomorrow, so I've made this. These are the things I want in my areas, everybody needs. Like society can be made compulsory, segregate waste at the source. Encourage people, reward them to reuse, recycle, reduce, reinvent healthier ways to use things. There are multiple options. You know, societies should have minimum soil space to plant native trees. Don't cut all this. So these are the things I made this mandate to talk to the candidate. So can we all collectively, we have elections coming up, speak to our candidate. If we all collectively keep our voice up, they have to put in the manifesto and they will be making those changes. That's my suggestion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you.
you should become a member.
Absolutely.
I think you need to volunteer. What's the membership fees?
There is no fee for the first year.
Then nobody will join.
No, they're joining.
They're joining.
They're joining just because they want to collaborate. Then subsequent to the founding members, once, you know, the rest of the members will be charged a fee. So if you come on board right now, it'll be free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anu. I've known her for about 25 plus years, I think 24 years. And she's moved on from being a programming head to being a producer, now to advocating for sustainability. Well done. Your experience will stand you in good stead as you go about preaching the gospel of sustainability.
Thank you so much, Anil.
Thank you.
Pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that informative session. And Anil sir, I would like you to felicitate Anupama ma'am.